plastic pollution is now the world's worst crisis. Here's why. Firstly, plastic ages like no other everyday material, either because it wears directly into uncontrollable plastic dust. This applies to fabrics, tires, synthetic turf and tennis balls, for example, or because sooner or later it will break into millions of ever smaller, unmanageable pieces. The major drawback of plastic is that this fragmentation will last for centuries and centuries. Every plastic object is a scourge already present and a veritable time bomb that will gradually explode into millions of pieces. Second, plastic is not biodegradable like food, paper or cardboard. Every tiny piece of plastic lost in our environment is indestructible. The extreme physico-chemical conditions necessary for its manufacture and therefore its destruction are not found in nature. The plastic will therefore remain there indefinitely, and every year, billions upon billions of particles escape our grasp. We have no control over it. Nature can't do anything with it. Every plastic object around you is therefore an eternal, indestructible pollutant. Third, plastics contaminate all our vital resources and all living organisms. As soon as a plastic particle is released, it contaminates the air, water, soil, or oceans. And all these particles are constantly scattered around the globe by the action of winds, rain and runoff, ocean currents and waves. The soil and oceans that feed us are all contaminated and will be more so every day. And these particles enter plants, animals and all of us. Every living organism that breathes, drinks and eats is constantly filling up with new plastic particles. Fourth, plastics accumulate in the cells and organs of all living organisms. In plants, particles enter through the roots or leaves, circulate through the sap and accumulate everywhere, for example, in the edible parts. In animals, particles enter via the lungs or the digestive system. They spread throughout the body via the bloodstream. Some of it comes out in the urine and feces. The rest gets trapped anywhere. Their proven presence in our vital organs, such as the reproductive system, the brain and the heart, is very worrying. Fifth, the presence of plastic in organisms is doubly dangerous. Physically and chemically. The presence of particles causes physical damage that has already been observed in animals and humans. These include irritation or disruption of the immune system, for example. These particles also have a biochemical impact. They can release into organisms the toxic molecules that make up plastics. Like bisphenol A, they can also release toxic elements from the environment. Indeed, pollutants, viruses and bacteria can stick to the surface of plastics. They are then carried by the particles into the organisms, contaminating them a second time. Sixth, the risk of condemning the living world to its worst fate increases irreversibly every day. As soon as the contamination of an organism officially causes illness or death, nothing and no one will be able to prevent an identical end for certain. No living organism, no cell, no plant, no animal, no human being will be able to prevent the irreversible contamination of its own organs from worsening. Some of us will filter the air. Some of us will filter the water. But how can we filter our food without removing the nutrients essential to our survival? When breathing, drinking and eating condemns us to the worst, what will we do? Seventh, in the long term, recycling our plastics is not a viable solution for managing this pollution. Genuine plastics recycling doesn't really work. The petrochemical industry has always lied about the effectiveness of recycling. In reality, it is downcycling. It's the transfer of pollution from one particle's bomb to another. This process is neither beneficial to human health nor to nature. It only benefits the petrochemical industry, which is getting rich at our expense. The amount of waste we produce is increasing all the time. Recycling is therefore not a viable solution for protecting future generations. Eighth, burning plastics is not a viable solution for managing this pollution. At the roadside or in an incinerator, burning only reduces the volume of waste. This does not reduce its toxicity. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Burning concentrates the toxicity of plastics into smoke, water, ash, and carcinogenic residues. And no one can reduce the toxicity of these products that are released into the environment. Burning, therefore, accelerates the irreversible transfer of pollution to our vital resources, to all living organisms, and to our own organs. Burning plastics is a poisoned gift to future generations. Ninth, plastic pollution is now the world's worst crisis because it's getting worse every day. It's out of control. It is irreversible. It is omnipresent. It has an impact on all living things. It is currently unmanageable. And as soon as the first victims appear, the World Health Organization will certainly call this pollution a global pandemic. But then, on that day, how will we stop its spread? Humanity has still not taken control of the irreversible contamination, neither of our vital resources, nor of our organs, nor of our children from the moment they are conceived. And from their first maternal meal, we are facing a very probable risk of extinction of life on Earth. It seems to me inevitable if we do not react sufficiently in time. It is urgent that our political leaders understand the situation. It is vital that our political leaders react. They must do so quickly and effectively, commensurate with the danger that awaits us. Hello, this was Dr. Pai, scientist and activist against plastic pollution. Thank you for listening to me on my channel, On n'est pas des autruches. Do not forget to subscribe to support me and not miss a crumb of my work. See you soon.